Guys. This is actually the greatest announcement of all time. The greatest champion in the entire game, Arcade. He's getting buffed. I cannot express how incredibly fantastic this day is. Like, you guys already know how amazing he is and how he's literally the GOAT. I made like 50-minute video on just him destroying the entire contest. Like, absolutely annihilates every single game mode, no exceptions. He's absurd. Those poisons do like 1 million damage per second. And they're so easy to get. You just place the cloud down and then boom, they just walk into it and they just die. That's how simple Arcade is. Dude, I cannot believe they're buffing this champ. He's better than Hercules. Like, legitimately. I don't understand how this could possibly be happening, but I am all for it because Arcade is so cool and he's so goated and he's already busted, but I'm cool with making him more busted. That's totally fine with me. Anyway, let's break down this post a little bit because I am a professional Arcade gamer. No one understands how good Arcade is except for me because I'm the Arcade master. I simply know everything about this champion and no one else does. So, Arcade, with a gauntlet of traps and tricks, Arcade was designed to reward space control as both an attacker and defender. An attacking Arcade requires some setup to get his damage loop going, but benefits from a wide utility set as long as you keep winning prize tickets. And a space control granted by his booby trap mechanic. A defending Arcade was designed to be punishing with two main threats in his auto block and his poisonous clouds. Both of which, if you don't know, basically weren't threats at all because you use a heavy attack and you just don't sit in a cloud, which has very little space anyway. And then he dies in like 50 seconds because, or 40 seconds I should say, because the Cosmic class is way too good. So anyway, a review of Arcade's performance so far indicates that the damage output of his attacker loop is coming up shorter than targeted in most encounters. Guys, what they're saying here is that instead of 1 million damage poison per tick, they were intending for him to be doing 2 million damage poison per tick, so expect that to be what it looks like when he gets updated. And then, notably the poison damage from his poisonous clouds, fair enough, because those bleeds only did like 1 damage. It was always the poisons that did the damage anyway. The bleeds, they weren't there. The incinerates basically healed the opponent if they had willpower. Like, those weren't even a thing. The shocks were like, 27 damage per second. It was a little bit weird. I don't know how they, fit with the rest of them doing, like, very specific numbers, but the shocks were specifically 27. Oh yeah, and that rupture he has on the SP3 that you can roll if you get it in a 1 in 3 chance, that was also there. That one did, like, 257 damage per second. I don't know, man. It's kind of crazy. So, and will be rebalanced as a result. Again, rebalancing the greatest champion of all time. Arcade's impact defensively has been slow but solid, having found success in a few spots on the Alliance War map over time. No, he hasn't, that's a lie. And has been impactful in some but not all Battleground seasons since his release. This guy was always an attacker. Again, he's the best attacker in the game. Defensive-wise, no, he needs to be like 3 times better. He needs to be more powerful than Serpent. I really think that Arcade needs to be a harder defender than Serpent. So I'm hoping that's what they're gonna do when they start rebalancing him. I completely disagree with him doing anything on Alliance War. He absolutely has not, for defense at least. On attack, like, he's actually soloing, like, Enchantress bosses, he's soloing Onslaught bosses, he's soloing Bullseye bosses, he's soloing every single boss on attack in Alliance War. But he's not doing anything defensively, so. And has been impactful for some. I already read that. Arcade's rebalance will be focused on upgrading his Poisonous Cloud and auto block gameplay. Yeah, so again, instead of 1 million damage poisons, we're gonna get 2 million damage poisons, and then the auto block is going to now auto block heavy attacks. And it's also going to make it to where every time he auto blocks or would auto block, he's gonna gain an 8-second death immunity. He's also gonna start getting a pierce whenever he places the cloud down on the field. Then he's gonna gain resistance up every time you get that torment from his Sig ability active on you. He's also gonna instantly gain half a bar of power when you dex any hit of his special attack, except you can't dex them, so it also triggers when you get hit by them. And then at the same time, he has an SP3 that you cannot use an invul boost for, because instead of Serpent gaining 2 bars of power, when you invul tank his SP3, Arcade's going to get 3, so he's just going to be infinitely looping his SP3s. That's what they told me on the inside about what Arcade's defensive mechanics are going to look like. And I'm all for it. Again, like, he needs to be a better defender than Serpent, clearly. He's also just way too good on attack to be that bad on defense, right? So, I think that's one thing that they're definitely working towards fixing, and I'm all for it. And then while we're here, we might as well talk about Northstar, which I don't have as much experience with, because, well, Arcade's the best champion in the game. Northstar's like the 150th best champion in the game, so he's a little bit far down my list, you know, like right behind Captain Britain or something. Northstar flew into the contest for the goal of being a reliable and effective attacker in long fights. While investigating this target for Northstar, we discovered 2 things. At 10 momentum, Northstar was able to stun-lock opponents for millions of health at a time. I did not know that, actually. Players, for the most part, are struggling to consistently ramp up Northstar. Fair enough, even though he was designed for Everest, where he wouldn't really be that hard to consistently ramp up. But I guess I can see what they're getting at. This has Northstar in the awkward spot of struggling where he was targeted, while also being too automatic in these situations. A lot of the criticism about Northstar was that his damage is meant to be for long fights, but it's also not top-tier damage compared to like Cade or Aegon or something. The only reason I disagree with that is because he's meant to be like the mutant long-form champion, and mutant does not really have one outside of Strife. And I think Strife is a little bit overrated for long-form stuff. I could be wrong, I don't play a lot of Strife. MCoC also once was that, but he's definitely not that anymore. And I think that Northstar actually was a bit underrated for long-form content. So, to address this, we decided to rebalance Northstar around a max of 6 momentum, cutting the 10 momentum stun ability. The goal is for his ceiling to be around the same place, because we're happy with where he performs once he gets there, but easier and quicker to hit said ceiling within a fight. So I'm all for that. Obviously more excited for making Arcade, you know, twice as good, but yeah, the rebalances are coming in the January build, so I'm getting really excited for that. And then Patriot and Leader are coming next, which will be very interesting to talk about. But anyway, in summary, Arcade is actually goated right now, and now they're making him goated ×2. I can't wait for that death immunity, that pierce power gain, the other power gain, also the other power gain, and the undexable special attacks to come from the defensive side of the spectrum. Because, yeah, we need this guy to be more powerful than Serpent. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.